I'm good, I'm very good. But when I'm bad, I'm better.
We did it. We made it on time, even a little bit early.
Look at that. But real professionals are at least 5 minutes late.
I'm doing it wrong. I don't know what I'm doing. I never claimed to be professional. Get out of here.
Exactly. Stay amateur. It's the best way.
Stay amateur. I will forever be an amateur. Thank you. You heard it here, folks.
So will I.
How are you doing, Professor Savage Dad? It's been a while.
It has been. Probably better since the last time you saw me.
Yeah? Things that happen in your world, or anything new, or what's going on?
Busy week. A lays ahead of me. None of it has anything to do with streaming. In fact, I'm kind of frustrated. My phone died like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and I'm stuck with an iPhone 12 that won't the hotspot doesn't work on the damn thing, but it works as a phone. But without a hotspot, I can't do my morning drive streams that I actually had a pretty good cadence going on. And so I'm like dead in the water sitting here waiting until I can get a new phone that works all the way.
That sucks.
Not just a little the way. Yeah, it's kind of a pain.
Well, for those that don't know you, is there a little intro blurb, who you are, what you do? Where can people find you?
I'm Professor Savage Dad. You can find me memeing on X. It's what I do probably most consistently. You can also find me on Rumble and YouTube on my channels of similar name. Professor Savage Dad, pretty much everywhere. I don't necessarily drop content everywhere, but you'll find me on YouTube and Rumble having basically the same stuff. I do a show called DadCast, which will hopefully be back after October. I've been on a little bit of a hiatus while I'm taking care of personal life adventures that have kept me thoroughly distracted the last half of the summer here. But I'm looking forward to getting back into the game. You can also catch me on Rumble when I fix my phone, doing a little morning drive stream I call Commuter Conversations, where I just kind of talk about pop culture, news, kind of whatever's on my mind that morning. I've usually got 2 or 3 topics that I just give you about 25 minutes of conversation over, and then it's off to
every
work.
weekday? Or is it just
every weekday?
Wow.
Yeah.
Someone who puts out consistent content somewhere, sometimes.
It's weird. It's a weird feeling. It's unfortunately even more amateur than my normal stuff because it's very hard to produce something while driving, and also because it's literally just my GoPro and my phone hotspot and a mount on my dash and go. But I figure it's a good way to write off gas mileage at the end of the year too.
I'm trying to do that with ammunition. I need to do more range days.
There you go. Exactly. I gotta write this off on the LLC. That was a business expense. I made a video.
Oh, totally. Absolutely. Yeah. And did you mention Rogues Gallery yet?
I have not mentioned Rogues Gallery. I think we're on hold still this week. Iron's ironing some things out, but every Friday I am on Rogues Gallery pretty consistently there as well. I had a little bit of a break from there, but I'm back in full force. So yeah, check out Rogues Gallery over on my buddy Iron Oxide's channel. He's on YouTube and Rumble as well.
It's just all over the place. I forget that because I set up the streams. I've been doing it pretty far in advance lately. So usually because I'm looking at YouTube, I forget that it's going other places, and then I'll get like a random Rumble comment, So I'm like, oh yeah.
Always got to pull up all the chats. The thing I always have to remind myself when I'm producing my show, it's chat windows like all over this monitor here, and then OBS is over here if I've got extra cameras I'm pulling in for things.
We have a bigot army raid of one. Actually, there's many of
you. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah.
But it's an unofficial raid, I guess. That's what we're saying.
Maybe when the show is done, it'll be an official raid.
So I did put your links in the description, but if there are any that are missing, just shoot them over and I will update that so people can find you and stalk you and love you.
All of those things are highly acceptable.
So actually, what am I doing? I was supposed to stream last week and my guest, couldn't make it. So instead of like stressing myself out to throw together a solo stream, I just took like a week and a half off. So when I take like an extended period off between shows, it's like I start to get red again, and I get a little nervous. I got the jitters, got a sippy, and get back in it.
Exactly. I'm still trying
Cheers, by the
to.
way.
Oh, what's up, MSK? Yes, cheers.
You want to be stalked and loved by Professor Savage, Dad?
I'm already on his show on Sunday nights, usually, unless it's late.
He's already stalking you, MSK.
Yeah.
I don't have it on the stage.
Point.
So this is your YouTube channel.
Yes,
So your last DadCast was a few months. Yeah, you have been off for the summer.
I have.
And then I was on
I
for.
didn't intend to be.
Life happens.
It does.
But yeah, I was on. Have I been your only female guest on DadCast? Because we
You
did
have
a
been.
Mother's Day cast.
We did. I have.
Honored.
When I bring it back, I'm probably going to take a slightly different tact with it. It's a little, I don't want to say exclusive, but kind of excluding a little bit, and I can have a little more guests in. So I'm gonna approach it a little differently when I come back. Not that I know that I've left anybody out, but I feel like I leave some people out sometimes because I don't know well, I know a few dads, but not a ton of dads,
Right.
or even
But there
moms.
aren't a whole. I mean, there's not a whole lot of parents unless they're doing like those types of like parent influencer type of shows
Yeah.
and that kind of a thing. But like in our sphere, there aren't a lot of people that have kids that do this because they're not totally crazy. And
Yep. It's me and you, Shags, Common Nerd.
Words
He's got
of
all the
Paradise
kids.
is a dad.
Yep. There's a
Not a
couple
whole
other
lot,
that I
though.
probably just don't know, which is fine.
Speaking of the parent stream, so I did that roundtable one time. You couldn't make it because you were driving back from your Vegas meetup. But I want to do that again sometime. Maybe have one every so often, kind of semi-regular basis, because there are topics that come up that affect specifically parents and also parents of special needs kids. So I think it was a really good show. We had a good conversation. We didn't agree on everything, which is great. I don't like existing in an echo chamber, and I like hearing other people's experiences and how they navigate some of the challenges that parents face right now. And some of the wins too. I don't want to just all be negative, but the winning is important. But yeah, I want to get that going on a semi-regular basis because the last time I did it was months ago now.
It's definitely been
that'd be great.
A minute. There's been so many things that I thought I'd have. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna come back and do this, and then it's like, ugh, I have to do this thing, and the same thing I've been spending all of my summer doing, and then I started, and then things exploded in August because my oldest child just started high school, so I'm learning a whole new paradigm of how to manage that. I'm managing him with it, and you need to go to bed. There's no way. Why can't I be awake? All of you go to bed.
What time zone are you in? Just curious.
I'm in Pacific right now, so it's 8 o'clock. So it is.
Okay.
It is.
Samesies.
School tomorrow bedtime.
Yeah, I was thinking if you were anywhere else, I'd be like, "Ooh, kiddo, get back in there."
Oh yeah, I know, right? Any further east, it's way too late now. They're just.
Thanks. Oh,
yeah, they're going.
Ice. Let's break the ice with a personal question.
I know, right?
What's your most embarrassing childhood memory? I'm kidding. That's not
mine.
But you could. I mean, if you want. I was just kind of joking.
I'm trying to remember. Do I have a good embarrassing my childhood or things my children have done to me?
Oh, your childhood.
My childhood. I'm trying to think there. God, I don't know. I was just constantly attempting to Minecraft myself by running everywhere and into everything and not looking at stuff. Normal boy stuff, What did I do as a kid? Man, there's something. I can't think of one offhand
any
right
trauma
now.
from high school, or were you one of the cool kids that,
I actually never went to high school. In theory, I kind of skipped it. My parents got it in their mind that they were going to homeschool me, but neither of them had actually graduated from high school, so there's a lot of disconnect there. And then after about 2 years of that, I decided to go get a GED. And then I went and got a GED. And then I proceeded to stay in college for a million years like Van Wilder. And I have like 4 degrees now, but
Hence the professor in your name. It's actually
Yes.
legit.
Yep, I do actually.
Well, I mean, like
teach-
Master Swag King. He's not a master or swaggy or a king, right? Right? I'm
As
trolling.
far as I know, I don't think he has any of those things available to him currently.
But the professor is legit.
Could we stop them? Sorry, no, the dogs.
Oh no, I understand. That's why I had to get NVIDIA broadcast because my dogs, well, not because they were barking all the time, but they snore incessantly.
Yeah. These ones are just going insane for some reason. I don't know what they're doing. The children, one of them's a puppy, so he gets very riled still and goes.
A demon dog that I don't know what to do with. Her name is
Demon
Moxie.
dog.
That's the name. This one. And she's getting worse. She goes full demon mode for no reason. Like hair trigger goes and attacks the other ones. And I don't know if you're familiar with pugs, but they scream a certain way, and it sounds
Ooh,
like
no, I
bloody
haven't heard
murder.
that.
It's horrendous. Anyway, so I
That
got
does
that to deal
sound.
with.
Yeah, that does not
It's
sound
crazy.
comfortable. These two are just both corgis, so they're just excitable and loud, mostly.
I always said that if I were a dog, I'd probably be a corgi because I've got like short legs and like just look, I don't know, feel like I would look stupid. I don't know.
Exactly. They've always got tiny
Stop
little
saying
legs.
this, Leonard. Dog is not a fine meal. Stop making dog as a fine meal happen.
Dog as a fine meal is not going to happen, no matter how many Haitian immigrants you move into your neighborhood.
Oh my gosh, we're going to talk about that. Oh, and lastly, before we get into the things, do you cook or is it your wife that's the big chef in the house?
Oh, we both do.
Baker. You both do. Because I saw those oatmeal cookies and they look pretty freaking fire.
Thank you. Everyone keeps wanting to talk shit about oatmeal cookies, and I'm sorry. That is no. They're fantastic. These people are wrong.
Yes. The pug screaming is traumatizing. Absolutely.
I don't think
And
I've ever heard the pug screaming. I don't think I want to
it's
either.
you don't want to. It's awful. But since you're a husband and dad, I thought you might appreciate this little video here. Oh, I gotta add it to the stage. Good grief.
There it goes.
If you lose, you lose.
Wait, can you hear that?
I think I heard it.
Make sure my volumes are all. Nope, it's coming through my speakers. Oh, please.
I do that almost every time as well.
Lose.
Try again.
And if you win, you lose. Right? A lot of these young men need to understand that trying to beat women in an argument is never going to work out for the best. Women are emotionally driven and they don't care about logic. So if you're ever in an argument with your lady and all she's doing is talking about her emotions, don't beat her with logic. Beat her with a pan or something solid, preferably a metal. That should
Sorry.
tear her up. And that's Alpha King rule number 479. The true alpha knows how to deal with a woman.
Yeah, I thought you might like that. It was such a
real
twist. I
Andrew
wasn't
Tate
expecting
rule.
that.
I
Mhm.
know, right? I was like, oh, maybe he'll do exactly what I do. You don't need a pan or anything else. That's one, expensive. Then you've got to clean it and everything else. No, all you need, the way to defeat them in an argument is chocolate, and then more chocolate, and then more chocolate.
Really? Mine's
Yeah,
vodka.
chocolate. That
Until I
too.
have too much vodka, and then it's like just nonstop, just diarrhea of the mouth, just But yeah, chocolate doesn't work for me. I'm more of a savory, and also
Chocolate.
alcohol. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's that.
Yeah, Prosecco
Okay, so
works as well. Blood orange Prosecco I found is
Prosecco.
her thing. So
Interesting.
yeah, she's
Hold
into
on, turn
Prosecco.
this
So
bit around. I love closing tabs. There's so many open right now. It's
I'll never
embarrassing.
understand the people with like literally about 60 tabs open. What could you even be doing?
This, exactly this.
Okay,
So
this I suppose,
this
yes.
I found a couple really cool things that didn't really fit in the show format, so I just wanted to show them before we get into kind of the meatier stuff, the heavier topics, and things that everyone's already covering, but we haven't talked about it yet. So
Yeah.
but so when you were in Vegas, you saw the sphere, yeah? Super
Yes, we
cool.
drove by it. and I saw it from somebody's room as well. Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
Well, the UFC 306 was just held at the Sphere. $20 million to produce the show. I haven't been inside of it. I've just only been the outside. But this is pretty freaking amazing. Ooh,
That's
floor seats were
insane.
$12,000 to $17,000.
Yeah, that venue is
18
insane. Like just to try to go to a
18,000
show
people.
there. Oh wow.
Let's
It
make it
made
big.
a lot of money.
Enhance.
Fighting traditions and heroes. But no culture embodies the fighting spirit
That would trip me out.
more than Mexico.
Oh yeah, that is
No
wild.
place on Earth has produced more legendary warriors.
Same bulldozer.
Yeah.
From the beginning of time,
I'm not staying on the strip usually when I'm in Vegas.
No. I did last time in May, but typically I don't really go to Vegas unless I'm meeting people usually or a concert.
Yeah.
Because it's not even 4 hours of a drive for me, so
Yeah, that's about how far it is for me, I think.
pretty freaking cool.
Oh yeah, I've seen
Nice.
lots of videos of the tech demos at the Sphere and other things they've done, and it's a really impressive thing. It's just I don't know how I would justify the cost for nearly anything there.
Mm-hmm. What are you guys arguing in the chat? UFC in the chat. All right. So that was the one cool thing. And then this is the other one. And then we'll get into the business. I don't really need the music for this. I don't know if it's copyrighted. Did you see this drone show?
Oh, dude. I've seen some of them. That one's I was wondering what
This
that
is
was for a
insane.
second. I've seen
8,100 drones.
who piloted all of those? Like, or did they just run a program? Like, I've seen some of the Chinese drone shows and the other, like, Asian country drone shows. I think they do some big ones in, like, Singapore and Thailand.
Yeah.
They're
Like the
wild.
dragons.
Yeah.
Those are, that was
Those
in
are
Korea, actually.
so cool.
Yeah. Super
Yeah,
duper
Korea
cool.
has some really amazing ones. You notice, though, not in North Korea. Just don't know why.
For some reason.
Yeah, for some strange reason.
I don't know. Oh my goodness. Okay, where's my stuff? Where are my things? Oh, here it is. You know what? I think I'm getting a message from our TMZ correspondent. So let's check in on that, okay? Breaking news. P. Diddy was arrested and taken into federal custody in New York tonight.
I just saw that a little bit ago. Nothing about the why or the what exactly. Maybe they finally did find out he actually did kill Tupac.
Maybe they
After
did
all
open
these
up that
years.
case again, right? In Vegas?
Yeah.
Not that long, like a year or so ago.
It was always rumored that he was involved in some way, but like nothing ever really came of it.
Interesting. Last I had heard, he had flown out of the country and like to the Bahamas or something. I didn't realize he came back.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. So
Interesting.
Yeah, why was he back and nobody noticed or said anything? But then also it's a recent indictment, which is weird because I thought there already was one in California when he fled. So
Yeah, I'm a little confused because they had a arrested the day after the assassination attempt, eh? That's convenient. Isn't it? There's a lot of convenient things. Lots of coinkydinks. But let's see. He was arrested, taken into custody. The last update was just about an hour ago, saying that a law enforcement source told TMZ the arrest was scheduled for Tuesday, but something happened that caused the feds to move in a date early.
Probably because he got wind and was going to GTFO.
Yeah. I have to let a dog in the room. She's scratching the door. Hold, please.
All right. They'll do that. Or they'll whine. They'll sit around and bark at your door. It's just what they do.
scratching that just drives me up the wall.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So the update was at 7 o'clock tonight, but the arrest was earlier, and this was the raid in March. Photos from that.
Yep.
Action was taken in connection with the ongoing criminal investigation into alleged certain type of trafficking and other offenses that led to search warrants being issued and executed at Diddy's homes in Beverly Hills and Miami. I can't wear my glasses when I stream, so bear with me if I seem like I'm like illiterate.
You don't have your contacts in or anything?
I can't wear contacts. My eyes, they're just too irritating for me.
Ah.
Yeah.
So I'm just hoping that he doesn't manage to, hang himself with a paper bed sheet or anything.
Sure. You know those napkins they get in jail?
They're very dangerous. I hope they stop leaving them in people's cells, because you never know what might happen.
Speaking of, there's a Quilted
right?
Northern ad. The timing.
I know, it's like they could hear us. That's
can.
totally how he's going to do it. He actually, created a noose out of the toilet paper in the cell, and they just couldn't stop him. The cameras went on. Yeah.
Yeah.
The cameras went off. The guards fell asleep. I mean, it's just a thing that it happens.
Oh, for sure. We're in a fly.
Yeah.
He did. He did. Interesting.
Good dad joke. I like that. But yeah, he's probably got a lot of
so slow. I just got it after you said it was a good dad joke, and then I'm like, there it is. There it is.
Sometimes it takes a second. It'll be interesting to see. You get the feeling that he knows a lot about that particular scene, and moreover, if who else, who is his customer, who was working with him, like where did he
right, like Disney Maxwell. How can you be convicted of a crime but there's no no customers?
Yep.
How does that work?
Yeah, none. Nobody actually partook in the part of the crime that like made it act more criminal. Like
Sussy wussy. Yeah, okay, so back to the actual news of the weekend. It was the second assassination attempt of 45. Oh no, Ward is in here with jokes. I hate to spill the joke, but I think we're on confused P. Diddy and R. Kelly. I can't even.
No.
So, yes. So the second attempt on President Trump, and I'm pulling up CNN for a reason, because I'm always curious at how they skew it or how they, kind of tone that they give it. And the word apparent keeps making headlines. And it's like, okay, you're already downplaying it with that, right? We don't really know. Or I guess it could have been, I don't know. It just kind of denotes like it wasn't actually the thing.
Well, I think that's the point there. Anything that they can do to diminish it. Was it the LA Times that said golf course incident with Donald Trump or something like that? Like it was so flipping downplayed that it was wild. Like if you'd search like golf course incident, I think it was LA Times. I'm not sure who it was, but I was like, wow. That's a way to put it for sure.
So this was the original page, and then they moved it and just kind of gave a rundown of what we covered in this article. I don't know why they would move it instead of just doing what they normally do, but so the FBI was investigating what appears to be an attempted assassination at his Florida golf club, not harmed in the incident. And at the time, up until like this afternoon when the U.S. Secretary gave a press conference, I think it was still unsure, or I was still unsure of whether or not the would-be assassin had gotten any rounds off, but they did settle that, and we'll watch a clip of it. It was like a 30-minute briefing, but we'll watch just like a couple minutes. Apparently he did not get any shots off, but he was able to flee and get into his car and take off. It's all just so weird.
Yeah, the whole scenario is weird. Like, what did they say? He was there for 12 hours. I mean, first of all, this is Trump's private golf course in Florida on his property, where he, at the last minute, decided to go play a game. How the fuck did this guy know 12 hours ahead of time to just be there and to stay there? Like, he was hitting, his cell phone was hitting the same cell tower for 12 hours straight. So maybe he wasn't at the fence for 12 hours, but he was within less than 5 miles of that spot, of that, or at least of that cell tower in that time. Like, clearly, I mean, what would be interesting to know is how Trump ended up deciding to play a round of golf. Did somebody say you should go play golf? And he's like, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. I should do that. Like that is the first thing I thought when I saw when they said this is at his golf course. I'm like, well, how the fuck did this guy know that he was going to be out golfing? Like, how would you
Just
plan
sitting
on a
and
public
waiting
appearance?
just in case, or did he actually know? I heard on
Well,
the
even
Words of Paradise show today that somebody said Candace Owens thinks it was JD Vance that leaked it.
I think Candace Owens just has a issue with JD Vance. I don't know what Vance would get out of that. Like, there's no guarantee that he just gets to slide in as the candidate all of a sudden. So,
Right.
That's
and
pretty
Words,
weak
thank you for the
sauce.
10, by the way. I didn't comment that it was a super chat. I'm just not used to getting them. So, thank you.
I have the same problem when I get Rumble rants. I'm like, oh, I got a Rumble rant. And I'm like, shit, I should have looked at that like 15 minutes ago. It's why I keep the chat up in front of my face.
Well, I can see a chat. I'm just kind of retarded. So, it happens.
It does happen.
But I mentioned this to you before the stream. 4 days before the incident, Times cover.
Yeah, this. That's wild.
Interesting.
Well, I mean, did you
Coincidences.
see the... Oh, yeah, the whole thing is coincidences. I mean, it's a coincidence that guy seems to have been maybe a NATO contractor at the minimum. Like, there's no way he's not on the radar. He's gone to Ukraine. He's been there. He's actively trying to recruit people. Where does he have money to do any of this shit?
Yeah, just
I can't
some
fly
guy.
to Vegas, let alone the fucking Ukraine. Like, where is this money coming from? How is this guy doing these things? Not to mention getting profiled by the New York Times, Newsweek interview. Happened to appear in a BlackRock commercial like the last guy for the Azov battalion of all things. Didn't know he was a Nazi sympathizer, but there you go.
There are too many weird happenings surrounding this guy, and he doesn't look like he's playing with a full deck. Like, I don't know, like, okay, people would say like MK Ultra, or like
the guy
bottomized.
Yeah, the guy smells like old MK Ultra. He seems like he was baked out of his mind and conditioned into this. Like, whatever he is, he was so susceptible to the message that, like, everything on his X profile before they nuked it, which I took a screen grab, video record of the whole thing and posted it to Rumble because I knew they were going to nuke it, and they did. I wish I would have got more of the stuff, but I got at least his whole scroll from top to bottom of his profile.
Did you see that some bitch I know? She archived everything. She is like queen archiver.
Oh, nice.
Archivist.
Dude, that's what you got to do these days.
They're changing history in real time, and so it's like,
well, they were trying to. Well, they wanted to do it because probably one of the greatest things that they failed on in the last push with the last assassin was to try to convince the public writ large that the guy was a conservative, that he was a Republican, that was disaffected. And it failed. It fell on its face. They found his Gap profile. They found out he was a big Biden supporter. He donated to Act Blue, all of this shit consistently. It's because people were able to find bits and pieces of his socials. Now, they deleted all of the last guy's socials pretty thoroughly, but they still found Gab because they didn't think to look there.
Well, there was this other element with the first one where the media, now good, bad, or otherwise, but the media was also pushing that it could have been this other guy. So people were looking in different directions, and they weren't able to zero in or confirm right away. There was too much time to get a confirmation for people to find it, I think.
Yeah.
To find all of it.
I still don't think that we, in all honesty, got the whole truth there, because that other guy's name kind of disappeared from things after being pretty thoroughly traded, and also the facial matches, like, I don't know, none of that ever lined up, and I find
Yeah.
in both instances, the fact that we get these pictures of their faces from where? It's never explained how those ended up on the internet so very quickly. People who are talented in setting a narrative, I think, are making sure that these things are prepared ahead of time. There's no way we get that kind of shit so quickly. There's no way that the only people who could have got that are members of law enforcement, and for the most part, that's bad crime scene etiquette. It's against a million
Absolutely.
sort of rules, I'm sure, and laws as far as the handling of that shit. But when it comes to the state writ large, um, they needed a narrative to paint. They needed to be able to sell this. And who knows who the dead guy we saw on that roof was, if it was a real person. I mean, you know, you want to get deep down the conspiracy rabbit hole. There's a lot of things about the first guy that never checked out. Then there was the weird dude that looked dead on like Crooks, that was like
Yeah.
supposedly trolling, that
But they were
posted
like,
that video.
oh yeah, he was. Mm-hmm.
He looked a
He was a
lot
dead
like the
ringer.
guy.
No pun intended.
He
He was a.
was. It was weird, dude. And then that guy disappeared. His whole accounts disappeared. The video disappeared. All of it disappeared. And we all just went along with the story that this guy Crooks, who then they found videos of him all over the place. They had a video of him at like ASU campus from a year or two ago. No one ever confirmed if that was him or not, but it was just another dead ringer for this guy. And let's just say I have a feeling we start seeing a few more lookalikes for the most recent guys showing up as well. I mean, a little bit of plastic surgery goes a long way to
Have you
changing
heard this? That
the way
they
they look.
burned his body before the investigation was done? The first guy.
They did. Yep, of course they did,
Interesting.
because again,
I'm not
I
surprised, but
don't think it was the same guy. In all honesty, if you really want to get deep into the conspiracy, I think there's a because there's still the theory that there was more than one person at the first shooting, and
mhm,
even now, echoes of the same thing. We keep hearing that there's potentially more than one suspect involved in this, but the media won't latch onto it. They kind of let it go. What if it's the same group of dudes? What if they're all involved with each other? I mean, they've all been in BlackRock videos so far. What do we need, a third to
true.
really confirm this and hit it home? I mean, we'll get it, but gotta wait till next month. October surprise.
So Dom Lucre, he often reposts other people's content. So I'm not sure exactly the
Hmm.
source of this quote, but the would-be shooter's son. He's my dad, and all he's had is a couple traffic tickets.
Well,
Maybe he just doesn't know his dad's rap sheet because we know that's not true.
maybe, yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
as far as I know, that's crazy.
WMDs,
I know my
Jesus.
yeah. You know what though? There was a time I was a police dispatcher and somebody was charged because the law enforcement was being a dick. You can run across those. And I can't remember what the item was, but the code that they used was also weapon of mass destruction. It was not a bomb. It wasn't anything like that. And at the time, I was really confused. For the life of me, I cannot remember. I mean, to be fair, it was like almost 20 years ago, but I thought it was
You'd have
just
to look up and
crazy
see what
to
classifies.
use that. Yeah,
Yeah,
actually. Hold, please.
I know, right?
Email code.
Basically, anything that can cause widespread death and destruction is often considered a grave threat when in the hands of hostile power. So, nuclear, radiological, chemical weapons. So, a
Maybe it
chemical
was
weapon
something like
seems
that.
like the easiest ones to get your hands on because you can kind of make them in your kitchen.
Or maybe it was components that could potentially be combined. All I do
Could be.
remember is that charge was totally dismissed for this particular
Yeah.
case that I was familiar with at the
It doesn't
time.
sound like it was dismissed for this guy, though. For Mr.
No,
Ralph, it sounds like he was charged with it and then
Mr.
got probation.
Felonious. So apparently Ralph told his son that he was at the beach, but the son thought it meant that he was at the Outer Banks in Hawaii. Didn't ask for more information because we had a falling out. We'd grown apart. He's not a violent person. He's a hard worker and a great dad. He's a great dude, a nice guy, and has worked his whole effing life. I hate this game every 4 years and think that we all do. If my father wants to be a martyr to how broken and disassociated the process has become from the real problems and practical solutions, then it's his choice. That's an interesting take. um, I don't know. It's just strange wording from the Sun. It was MG. I won't eat your cats.
Sorry, child
Okay.
smacked his head into something behind me. Or well,
Yeah,
in the room behind me. I was like, oh god, what's going on? They just need to go to bed.
Gotta do a wellness check.
Yeah.
Even Piers
happened
Morgan said the second shooter in one of his segments about the first attempt. I saw
Yeah.
this interesting video of the guy who is an expert at reviewing audio and deciphering what's happening in the audio, and his conclusion was that there was at least two different.
Yep. I've seen a lot of people come to the same conclusion in the first one, that there were two shooters. I've seen videos from there's so many angles, like the most documented via video and audio assassination attempt anywhere in the world in history. I think we've never seen so much footage be able to be collected, but so much of it will just be ignored, even by non-mainstream sources, when it doesn't seem to catch with the public. It doesn't seem to catch the clicks. People dismiss it enough that they'll just let it go. And it's like, why did we let this second shooter thing go? Like, why? I never saw a good explanation. I never saw anybody tear down these audio analyses. I never saw anybody tear down the photos of what could maybe be somebody on another water tower. Just kind of,
I did see that particular video, and somebody debunked the water tower one.
They did? Okay.
Because what they were asking about, does that look like a person? That was actually the logo on the side of the water tower, and way too large to be a human. But that doesn't throw out the possibility that they were in that direction, because the trajectory was also in question.
Yep.
Right. So anyway, let's check this out. And this was the briefing from today.
We're here to announce that Ryan Wesley Ralph, 58 years old, of Hawaii, has been charged by a criminal complaint in the Southern District of Florida with firearms offenses related to an incident which occurred yesterday at Trump International Golf Course right here in West Palm Beach. Ralph was charged federally with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon and possession and receipt of a firearm with an obliterated serial number. He had his initial appearance today before Magistrate Judge Ryan McCabe in the federal courthouse in West Palm Beach. According to the allegations in the complaint, a U.S. Secret Service agent walking the golf course perimeter saw what appeared to be a rifle poking out of the tree line. After the agent fired a service weapon in the direction of the rifle, a witness saw a man later identified as Ralph fleeing the area in the tree line. Ralph was later apprehended by officers from the Martin County Sheriff's Office in coordination with the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. The complaint alleges that in the area of the tree line from which Ralph fled, agents found a digital camera, a backpack, a loaded SKS-style rifle with a scope, and a black plastic bag containing food. The serial number on the rifle was obliterated. According to the complaint, Ralph was convicted of felonies in North Carolina in December 2002 and March 2010, and therefore was prohibited from possessing a firearm.
Much less one without a serial number.
Well, I find it so interesting. They don't want to talk about gun control so much. They started to, and then after that came out that he was a felon that couldn't possess, they ran screaming from that conversation really quickly. It's like, no, there's a law in place that should have stopped him. He did what most criminals do. He bought it from somebody, probably on the street somewhere. Maybe he had it and obliterated it, but either way, he was prohibited from having the weapon. It should have been removed from him if he had previously bought it ahead of time, because he lost his right to maintain it. So, but with an obliterated serial number, he bought it on the street somewhere, or was given it by his handler, would be my guess. That's the obliterated serial
have you
number.
heard any? Have you heard anything about how long he was in on, the mainland side versus Hawaii? Because the son thought he was still in Hawaii when he said he was at the
Well, that's
beach.
the thing. A lot of people thought he was still in Ukraine. I know that there's a couple of YouTubers that had videos with him. Like, he's shown up in a lot of damn places, dude. There are YouTubers that have interviewed him in certain places when they were doing videos. I think it was a college campus, had something to do with Ukraine. I know the Quartering reached out to them and confirmed it was him. You've got the Newsweek interview, the New York Times interview. I'd question if he was ever really in Hawaii for long at all. Like, I don't think there's any good way to be able to track the history of where this guy has been unless you've got a cell phone. But yeah, I don't think there's been any report as to how long he's here or who knew he was here at all. Sounds like the guy's been a lot of places, at least according to his Facebook. And his YouTube, or not YouTube.
Afford it? How can he afford it? He says he only makes like $1,000 a month. He can't afford an attorney. How can he afford to be traveling everywhere and doing all these things that he's, the recruiting efforts and connecting?
How could he afford that gun?
Yeah.
A street SKS with a destroyed serial number isn't coming to you for a couple $100, dude.
No.
Yeah.
I don't even know how much they run just regular if you were to buy it legitimately. But if it has
like an SKS, it's
yeah,
probably like $600.
Complete with scope and all the doodads.
Yeah. Scope, not to mention also he's got the armor plate and the rest of it. It's like that's a couple grand worth of equipment right there.
And if you buy one on the black market, I mean, I would presume
market, your price goes way up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I don't have experience in that, but I would presume.
Yeah, if you're dealing in illicit wares of any kind, especially guns, they don't come by those kind of things pretty cheaply. Let's see, a 1951 Russian SKS is selling for $1,200. So,
there was this one guy he goes down the rabbit hole. He went down the rabbit hole regarding the Las Vegas shooting, and he did it again this weekend. And he pieced together from his Twitter profile before it was scrubbed who he followed, and one of those people was in their bio ex-CIA and tied to these different organizations. And someone else had found out, even though she had a private account, that she also followed him back at the same time because they were the first person that each other followed. In the sequence of you follow people on Twitter, it just stacks on top of each other. So it was the first person on their list. Weird. And then all of his posts, they kind of seemed a little bot-like. And
somebody called that number he left too, and there's still a voicemail up.
Really?
Or like an answering machine. Yeah. He kept posting that phone number about things. And it seems really bawdy, and it could just be kind of made up shit. But then how does he end up with Newsweek? How does he end up in an Azov Battalion BlackRock commercial? How does he end up profiled by the New York Times? How does he end up signing people up wherever these YouTubers found him, trying to sign people up to come be part of the war? How does he wind up with some of these Ukrainian documents that were posted on his Facebook before they nuked it and scrubbed it? Like, I really, unless the whole thing is some sort of crazy op to make it look like he's, I don't know, dude. I just don't think that they were as fast as the internet on this guy. He seems too much like he is affiliated.
Well, we learned from the last one a month ago. the online sleuths learned from the last one.
I know the third one, they're not going to have any time to scrub it all. We'll already be at the guy's house before they release the name.
I was surprised they released as much as they did as quickly as they did.
I think they thought they had a better handle on it than they did. I don't know, dude. I still think they're trying to run a JFK assassination playbook over there at the CIA, and they don't realize. I mean, they are what government is. They're behind the times. They're ineffective at what they do, and they just keep doing the same thing over and over again. Apparently not being cognizant of the fact that we're going to figure this shit out. Like, this guy, there's too much here pointing in the direction that he is in some way connected at a federal level, or that the feds are more than aware of him.
In those postings, that he was trying to recruit people, he had said, "I have a contact at the Pentagon. They're working with me and us, blah blah blah." And the other weird thing about this recruitment post, I guess he had lists of people that were supposedly on the recruitment schedule for him, and
Yeah.
they're like, "I've never heard of this guy before." So what's that?
Maybe it's somebody he's contacting or was going to contact.
Hmm.
That or, people just want to disassociate with it at this
I was
point.
gonna say
Like
I'd
once
probably
your cover's blown.
there.
In all honesty, I think he just burned him. Like they left him hung him out to dry, and it's what happens with with spies. They get exposed. They just kind of cut him off and disavow.
Never
And
heard of
the
him.
guy seems,
Never heard of the guy before. Just wash our hands of it.
yeah,
Doo-doo-doo.
exactly. Oh, we don't know who he is, even though there's maybe too much evidence of him being connected at some governmental level somewhere to just dismiss it as an even I think even as a normie, like all of the stuff that there is about this guy, if you presented it to a person who's not quite so in tune to this stuff, they would have to just what's the term? Trying to remember the animal that does it, but they'd have to stick their head in the sand, basically to
Ostrich?
ostriching. They'd have to just stick their head in the sand and ignore that all of this is right here and for the world to see. The news can kind of ignore it, and they will, but the evidence is there. It's plain as day. It's not something you can really refute because it is available to look at. All of
Yeah.
these connections, all of these things. It's almost too much, I think. Like
Well, that's the thing too. Like people that yesterday, it was only yesterday that it happened, right? Or am I
Yep.
losing my mind?
I know, right?
Okay. The days have just been a total blur. But there's people that like jump on it and they report on it, which I appreciate. But at the same time, it's kind of like I need to, sift through it myself to even form a
Yeah.
personal opinion, much less one I would share with people. So like even talking about it here, it's not like I have a solid opinion on it yet. It's just there's
Yeah.
just too many question marks. And it's just highlighting the fact that there are so many freaking questions.
Oh, it does. I mean, like a definitive opinion, I don't really know. There's so many ways it could go, but the one thing the one thing I have to admit to and just see is that there's a lot of evidence tying this guy to a government entity. Too much. Like there's too much for me to ignore that. Now, the why, the motivations, other than get rid of Trump, which is clear motivation. Yeah, I don't know. Like, why did they think this would work? How did he know he would be there? Is still the biggest question that I think every normie,
Mhm.
even the ones that I've talked to, are like, but how did they know he was going to be playing golf that day? Like, it's not
Super
it wasn't
weird.
a scheduled event. It wasn't
The
a,
tournament
a
wasn't,
rally or a tournament. No, it was just
yeah.
him going out on his golf course to putz around.
So words had asked the question, which is it? Are the government agencies super geniuses in control of everything or incompetent morons who can't cap an old fat dude while he's golfing? Because you can't have it both ways.
You can't. Now, which government agencies? That's the real question.
They are not all
And
equal.
yeah, they're not all
Are they
equal.
are they the government agencies or the ones behind it going, hey, do the thing, and the other ones are just fuck ups?
Yeah, I mean, is our government? This is the problem, though. I don't think our government is super intelligent, capable of controlling everything. This is why things like communism don't work. For the most part, we are in many ways governed by our lessers. These people aren't intelligent people. They're not smart people. None of them are. Well, maybe a couple of them are. I think Rand Paul is an actual doctor, but besides that, for the most part, we're not, that's even just the top tier politicians. The people in the bureaucratic state are not our betters. They are our policy janitors. They are gubernatorial lawn service people for the most part. That's the bureaucratic state. They're not our betters. They're not intelligent. They're not even good at their jobs. I mean, that's why the joke has always existed about, if those who can do and those who can't work for the government. It's
Yeah, and it's, as far as like working for the state or working for the government in
Yep.
different capacities, usually fail upward because they want
Yes,
to
they
get rid of
do.
you.
No, that's
You're not good at your
absolutely
job.
what you
How
do.
do we get rid of this guy? We can't. Okay, let's promote him
Yeah.
out.
Well, and that's the thing. They'll promote you out, or they'll try to create a toxic work environment to get rid of you. I've worked for the government for a good period of my life. I have a state pension. If they don't like you, they'll just treat you like shit till you leave, because it is nearly impossible to fire you if you work for the state. It
Mhm.
takes a 9-month process that most of them don't have the patience to deal with at all.
So just make your life miserable so you leave.
Exactly. That's what they do. Or they'll promote you out. They'll send you off to another department. There's plenty of ways to do it. I mean, it depends on how much they dislike you. But yeah, and that's what we're kind of dealing with here, is that we are dealing with are they intelligent? No, but they are nefarious and willing to what this is why they keep screwing up and having these things not make. Now, they can act in the shadows, they can act with anonymity, they can act in a lot of ways that we can't necessarily nail them to the wall for. That's why we still, some still question who actually killed JFK. But, it doesn't take like a supreme intelligence to get away with that. It just takes plausible deniability. And they're really good at that. The other thing that government bureaucrats are good at is covering their asses. They may not be intelligent or bright and capable of creating a satellite network that brings internet to the rural America like some people, but they
But as
are
far as
good at
but
covering their
that
asses.
though, it's not necessarily good at covering their asses because they have a network of people that are willing to be corrupt.
Exactly.
So it's not really that they're all that great at it. It's just the rules just don't apply. They can get
Mhm.
around it, or they know somebody who's just going to dismiss it, or pay somebody off and it goes away, and it's like,
Yep.
okay, yeah,
And they know
they're
that the
going to keep
media
running
is
with it.
on their side as well, so they've got coverage there. So when you act at
Mhm.
this kind of scale, you don't necessarily have to be good at it. You just have to get away
Yeah.
with it. That's it.
But the hurdle nowadays is how fast technology moves and what access people get and what they can get their
Listen,
hands on in the public versus back in the older times where we only had the TV and 4 stations telling us what's going on.
exactly. Well, yeah, that's what it was like when we were kids. That's why we never understood any of this crap. But yeah, the internet is here now, and this is why they like losing X to them. You think about where we were 4 years ago, everything was still pretty well good on lockdown. You had Google, you had Twitter,
Mhm.
and you had YouTube, and they were all in bed with the feds doing what the feds wanted. X was the last of his social medias to go down. So a lot of people got access to that. Now, Elon Musk isn't talking about the disappearance of this guy's profile, but it did stay
Yeah.
up long enough, I think, to archive. And maybe that's a happy middle ground that we just kind of have to accept was allotted to those of us quick enough to say, well, shit, his X profile is at least still here. Let's get this. Because once we have
Mhm.
that, the internet's then forever. And this narrative they're going to build about him being a Republican, which you see, they're trying it again. This
Yep.
one's falling even more flat on its face than the last time they tried it.
He
There's
wrote a book
no
and he was
wrote
talking
a
about how
book.
much he hated Trump.
Exactly. It's like there was too much for them to cover it up well. Like like I said, there's almost so much that it does. I I don't know. Like I go back and forth. Was he an asset? Because I sit here and I think about how much evidence to the contrary of him being a Republican is, but they're trying to sell that line, and it's like, why are you even trying to do this at this point? Like, there's
Mhm.
so much of him out there that you can find, so much of him being exposed that maybe he was just a really shitty asset, and that's why they got rid of him.
Maybe.
It's like, this guy's
Oh,
too
God.
much. We need to set him up and cut him loose.
Yeah, hoping that he would get unalive by Secret Service.
Yeah, exactly.
So the lectern guy, you know who the lectern guy is, right?
I do.
He was
Yep.
the lectern guy, Jan 6. So he shared a picture of the would-be shooter, said that he looks proud, and that's how he's going to be remembered. But he looks like an NPC, blends right in, hygiene kept enough to look normal. He probably makes a bland potato
Yep.
salad and tells the same 3 jokes over and over. Right now, every liberal out here is running cover and trying to downplay what happened again. Then in 24 hours, they'll start changing the story and planting seeds of doubt. Give it a week, The literally
Yep.
Hitler rhetoric will continue. Give it a month, they'll try it again. The left won't stop. They encourage this behavior. They consider this man a hero.
They do. And that's what I love today when Trump dropped all of the receipts, because they keep trying to blame him for the uptick in oh, we got to turn the rhetoric down and this and that and everything else. And then he dropped this pile of receipts today, very clearly demonstrating like almost everything, every leftist out there that's come out to say that he needs to be shot, he needs to be eliminated. It's like,
I have those
no,
clips. I
guys,
have those. Yeah, people forget. Well, people that are paying
They do.
attention don't, but just general public that
Yeah.
doesn't remember. But okay, so left turn guy said that. Give it 24 hours, it'll be blah blah. They didn't even wait 24 hours. Last night on 60 Minutes, they ran the Jan 6th. He's a threat to democracy. Last night.
Yes. Hey, those guided tours were definitely a threat to democracy.
Oh yeah,
Lot of
Granny with her
people
little
walking around.
souvenir flag.
Mhm.
See? Oh, that volume.
The vote was counted at 3:44 a.m. With 2 weeks until Inauguration Day, it was the Trump Justice Department that set the standard.
The man literally almost got assassinated again.
Oh yeah, they don't care. The only real threat to democracy on January 6th was Nancy Pelosi's blood alcohol level.
Get this. Oh, Words of Paradise with the Fiverr. And now Google has been ruled to be a monopoly. There's no way they'd give up Google, so that's just a dog and pony show for the masses.
Yep. Pretty much nothing's going to happen from that at all.
Bingo, bango, bongo.
Prosecutors quickly realized that you needed guidelines in place, determinations about who was going to be charged, who wasn't going to be charged, and what they would be charged with. That process started in January 7th, 2021, during the prior administration. To this day, we continue to use guidelines that the career prosecutors put in place during the prior administration.
And how did they guide you?
What we're generally focusing on of the thousands of people who you could potentially charge that day are people who actually entered into the Capitol.
The people that were let in.
Yeah, the people that were
It's insane.
escorted in by the fucking police. Like,
have you
please,
seen
and the people that they've held long past any even if they were convicted of their trespass, they've been held longer than they would have actually served the time for. Like,
Sure.
And they're re-educating them apparently in prison. So that's
nice.
Yeah. It's a pretty fucked up story.
Yeah, but here's tone down the rhetoric. Who started this?
Do you expect there to be calls from within the Trump campaign to do that? Because he's going to reach out to his supporters and say, let's take this down. We do not know, again, the source of any gunshot or gunshots. We don't know who's responsible for this. The whole thing has yet to be 100% confirmed from start to finish how this all played out. But do you expect to hear anything from the Trump campaign about toning down the rhetoric, toning down the violence, or would that be atypical of the former president?
Well, Alex, remember back to the assassination attempt on President Trump's life and how, there was talk of a new tone, and then the Republican convention was, by Trumpian standards, muted. And it did seem like he was, just trying to take it down a few notches. But then by the end of his convention speech, we were kind of back to where we started. So I don't know how long this could, this moment of unity for the country where we come together and we say, I don't want any political opposition to be under threat of violence. It's not okay.
Bullshit.
Threat of.
The man almost had another attempt on his life. It counts as an attempt, right? They were trying to.
The guy was sitting there with a gun. It's basically, would it be an attempt on your life if you had, not your neighbor, but you had somebody wander into your yard and aim a gun at your front door and then sit there for a few hours until you came out? I would say, yeah.
Personally, I would feel that way, but like legally charged with that, it wouldn't be like an attempted, murder.
Yeah, it would be
he was going to
brandishing or intimidation, or I'm not sure what it is where you're from.
There is a statute for lying in wait, at least in California as well. when you commit a crime. That's like an escalates it,
Yeah.
an accelerator. But yeah, so these hoes, I swear.
Oh, it's ridiculous. It's like, what are you talking about turning down the rhetoric when you guys have been calling for it? Notice, I've still yet to find the Republican commentator, the Republican person being put out in the news and in the media talking to anybody. I've yet to see Vivek Ramaswamy, J.D. Vance, DeSantis, any of them even implying that Kamala needs to be eliminated, destroyed, removed, etc. Has that happened? No. Nobody on the right has said anything even close to the shit they've said about Trump.
No. This person five times August said, "What's the deal with all the assassination attempts?"
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
There needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Guy.
Do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless.
When they go low, we kick.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
The biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized right up to the right.
I thought he should have punched him in the face. I said, even if you lost, he insulted your wife.
Yes.
He came down the escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers. He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said, if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
Punch some people in the face.
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
Look, as his character is stabbed to death.
Where is John Wilkes?
Could you imagine anyone on the right doing any of these things or anything close, saying anything close?
We're not retarded.
Oh,
we don't need violence to be right or to win or to be correct or to maintain a sustainable economy that actually lifts people up in the middle class.
Well, that's why they're violent.
Exactly.
They don't have an argument.
They don't have an argument. They don't have a functional policy. They don't have affordable fucking groceries. I mean, shit, dude. They don't have anything on their side but violence. And you notice all of those people making these statements. One other thing that they have in common besides being leftists, they are so wealthy that the state of the economy will never matter to them or their children.
Yep. What the hell is that? That's
a water jug. I live in Arizona.
How many gallons?
Just one.
I live in Arizona. Just one? It looks ginormous.
Yeah,
it's like
it's a metal, like one of those dual wall metal jugs
on the camera or something.
Yeah, it's the wide angle lens there.
In there.
I've got to stay hydrated. No, the sun cooks us all day.
Folks booth when you need him.
I hate her so much.
I have thought
she's so
an
terrible.
awful lot about blowing up the White House.
She
A Missouri
looks
state
like
senator is under investigation.
Madonna.
What happened to Madonna? Oh my God.
Oof.
Yeah, that really worked out for her well.
Oof. Scary.
Oh.
Investigation by the Secret Service after saying she hopes President Trump is assassinated.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
And sadly, the domestic enemies to our voting system and our honoring our Constitution are right at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of that on both levels, that this isn't, they're not going to let up, and they should not.
If you think we're rallying now, you ain't seen nothing yet.
I remember that.
Yeah. How many right-wingers have done that?
Yeah, I know. It's weird. It's like the people with all of the guns seem to be the ones keeping our shit together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I saw this meme today that was funny. It was somebody like, it was like a guy picking up at a hotel, and he's like, I need a wake up call. And then the person on the other line said, all of the gun violence is coming from the left.
Pretty much.
Nailed it. Like, dead on.
Nailed it. Okay.
It's as if
So
they
I
have some
have.
sort of motive behind it.
Oh, maybe. Okay. Palate cleanser. Because that was a bit
Yes.
rough.
All right, stop there.
The acting skills of this
Not close
raccoon.
your eyes. Safety off. The other one.
I've never seen anything like that before. It cracked me up.
That's adorable.
Texas, gotta love it when a woman says it looks enormous. Oh no, don't. God damn it. You guys suck.
I was trying to behave. Jeez, chat. She already made my head enormous anyways in that thumbnail.
Hey, I have a license to meme, okay? I'm gonna use
You
it.
do. You do.
I
You
do
are
have a
allowed.
physical
I said I
license
respected
to
the
meme.
troll. Yep, see, there it is.
Legion of Memers. It's official.
Yep.
Okay. Where were we going after this one? Oh, I know.
I mean, it's closely related.
Closely related, yeah.
Eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the
cat. Oh God, this one.
Dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat.
Yes,
The
Doge.
dogs. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. Eat the cat.
It's so catchy.
It was, dude. It was a TikTok sensation, like for a day. It's one of these things that really makes you kind of question where the zeitgeist is these days. Love him or hate him, people on TikTok had him talking about eating the cat
Mm-hmm.
in a video.
Real quick.
Yep.
Well, and let's see, Lives of TikTok posted this one. The View's Sarah Haynes saying Trump spread misinformation and conspiracy theories when he said they're eating cats in Ohio. Police just released body cam footage arresting someone in Ohio for eating a cat.
Oh my God, I thought it was a thing that isn't happening. JD Vance made the story up.
Right? I know, right?
What they have done to our country.
When he spoke of the animals and the migrants.
What they have done to our country by allowing these millions and millions of people to come into our country. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
You talk about extreme.
Okay, is that laugh track from the View audience?
I think
Or
it
did
is
they
from
put
the
a-
View audience.
Okay.
Or somebody put it in either way. Did you see the other video with, I think it was it Hassan screaming or something? Like that that self-avowed socialist made this video.
Uh-oh, I think we froze. But Adam Reveal, good grief. 10 gifted memberships. Where are my sounds? Where's my thing?
Yay, there it is.
Hey, you're back.
Do I have a
Welcome
sound?
back.
I might have
So
a
we're
sound.
doing a huge ass thank you to Adam Reveal for the gifted memberships, and because it's Adam Reveal on his yacht. Thank you, Adam. How do we get rid of it?
Gotta have some boats and hoes.
Boats and hoes. Adam's a legend. Let's see. Okay, how do I get rid of this thing? Did you see this footage?
No, I haven't.
Body cam?
I'm gonna have to share this with a few people.
Yeah, hold please.
Someone got rubber gloves. She's covered in blood. I bet you got gloves. You got rubber gloves. Yeah, check. Smile for me. Smile with your teeth. Go like this. Did you eat that cat? Did you eat it? No, why'd you kill it?
I've seen too many videos in the last week of certain peoples deherring a cat on a stovetop.
Yep.
Burning it off. I've seen somebody spit roasting a dog.
Yep.
And I think
Seen it
that one
too.
was in Idaho. Certain people do eat dogs and cats. We talked about this before too, as far as you and I probably haven't, but as far as like Koreans, eating dog has been a thing for a long time. They are actually getting away. They're doing away with that actually this year. I was told by Danny On. She's an attorney who's married to a Korean, spent some time there. They're getting away from that, but still, people do it. And to say he's spreading misinformation because maybe they're going under the Springfield, Ohio. We haven't heard reports. Like they're trying to, technicality, or they're just flat out lying. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I think there have been police reports that have been issued now if police actually caught somebody. Well, that's a difficult crime for the police to actually effectuate an arrest on in the first place. Because how are you gonna get that? The evidence is likely gone unless you catch them in the middle of dinner. Unless you catch them in the act, you catch them doing it. But what you do have is a lot of citizens and citizen journalists and non-mainstream media journalists going to Springfield, recording these things, reporting on it with people there. And like JD Vance said, and he's 100% correct, his constituents, which is the people he's there to represent in part of his job, are bringing these concerns to his attention. So are we going to ignore the entire community of Springfield like America and the government has for probably decades now at this point, it would seem like? Or are we going to actually pay attention to what the people on the ground who live there are saying? Does the city manager know anything about that? Fuck no. The city manager doesn't know what's going on in his own building, more than likely. Like, I always find it funny when they try to appeal to the authority of a government official as somebody who's going to know what the hell is happening in the streets of their city. They don't know because they don't go to those places. They don't live in those places. And frankly, they find them a little icky. Most people that have reached that level in government have nothing to do with their actual constituents.
Yep. All right, I'm going to play the rest of this.
Get in there. It's ridiculous.
I mean, at the very least, there could be like a cruelty to animals charge.
Could be.
It's all right, other kitty. You're safe.
Also, if it was somebody else's cat, like somebody's actual cat or property.
Did you guys see all this?
No, we pulled up and she was just laying there with me.
Did you see her eating it? She was eating it?
Yeah.
Oh, that cat's not even cooked. Oh, wait, no. That's...
Yeah. Well, you don't kill a cat and go to the hospital. You go to jail.
Southwest with CM 410221. CM 410221.
That's what she was saying. Yes.
Copy out at 10th and Duber with CM 410221.
People are saying it's an old vid. There's just been so many videos, whether they're old or not. People are doing this.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure they're not going to stop.
You call the Humane Society, see if they'll.
It's normal
pick
for
this cat
them,
up. It's
apparently.
It is. It's. I mean, to be fair, in some parts of Haiti, they eat people. Like that one warlord. The videos we saw probably a few months back of him barbecuing people.
This one isn't an old video because this is the same chick, right? This was published August 20th.
I think so, maybe. I mean, it's not so old that it's outside the realm of what they're talking about, but this is something they probably could have fact-checked during the debate. Seems like this exists.
No, just laugh like the Joker and act like it's not happening and he's lying. So you don't need facts. And even if she is a regular American, weren't we just memeing about the Haitians eating people like a month or two ago?
I mean, weren't we just watching videos of a warlord or whatever the hell in Haiti actually barbecuing people a few months ago?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Just,
Just saying. Oh, this. Okay.
We know she's a regular American. They just say that. I mean, oh, Jesus.
Doesn't crack me up.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening.
Funny.
It's it. The memes are great, dude. Like Trump's meme power has not been diminished in these 8 years. It seems like it's always another meme coming down.
Mm-hmm. And the geese also disappearing from parks, and
I mean, if they're
some
Canadian
people.
geese, they're welcome to them. These things are
It was a
assholes.
Canadian goose. You know, I used to take my kid to feed the ducks at one of the parks up north, and frequently there would be a group of Canadian geese. Those things are not scared of anything, and they come up and they hiss at you, and they're just like,
Yep.
I don't know. I felt like I was being robbed. Like,
I know,
"Here,
right?
take it.
I don't even know
Leave me
that they're
alone."
good eating either. Like, I don't know if those geese are. It's geese, not. Yeah, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever had goose before.
I don't think I have either. But yeah, like you were saying, as far as like the people complaining and the higher ups don't listen, all that. There's multiple videos of people talking about what's going on in their city and
Yeah,
being upset that the media and the politicians higher up are saying that this isn't happening. You know, trying
Yeah.
to gaslight everybody.
That's one thing they are good at. They're very good at gaslighting. And we'll give them that.
Anyway, most everybody's seen those videos, but there was a duck rescuer of 10 years said that she believes the geese eating rumors are true, even though they were saying that's not true. That guy carrying the Canadian goose by the neck, who, you know, chopped its head off in
Yeah.
the park, he was there to pick up the deceased animal and it was totally approved. You know, it's not like they're just plucking the birds from the park. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
that sounds weird. Is there a law
Yeah.
that you know of in your area where you're not allowed to pick up roadkill? I mean, who's enforcing it? But I heard
I
that
don't
was.
think so, but that would. I mean, is it roadkill?
Well, I just mean like,
Oh.
sorry, separate thought.
As
but
far as I know,
actually
like as far as I
roadkill.
know, there isn't. Like I've heard stories. My dad would always tell me when people would hit deer or elk up in the northern parts of the state where my uncle lives. If he saw it, he would just clean it, skin it, throw it in his truck, and take it home. So
I worked with the guy that did that once during the day.
yeah, I mean, hey, you
Just
got to
in the
get it out of
back
the
of the
road.
parking lot. Like,
Perfectly good meat, you know.
mm-hmm. Oh no, free to good home. She owns a waterfowl rescue. Where did the
Lost a whole bunch of cats. Happened, yeah.
Oh no,
We've
click
lost
the
a
wrong
whole
button.
bunch of cats. There was
a
a
whole bunch of
van load of van pulled over that had over 100 cats in it with the Haitians. They said they was eating them.
Actually?
Yeah.
Not fake news.
Not fake news.
So a van was collecting cats and eating them.
I watched it happen. Yeah, watched them get pulled over with the cats and admit to the police that they was eating them.
You're not joshing with me.
No, I'm almost 50 years old, buddy. I don't. No.
You don't mess around.
No.
And it's nothing but immigrants over there.
Yeah, these white supremacists just don't like immigrants.
I know, right? Everywhere I go, the black face of white supremacy is haunting me.
So that was one of Kamala's lies during the debate. What were your feelings on the debate as far as who came out better? Was it they both look bad?
I think there's some truth to the aspect of them both looking bad. Trump let himself get too triggered by things, but when it actually came down to like the substance and the merit of the conversation that was actually being had, and not the instances where it was Trump versus her and the moderators, I think Trump came out on top. He actually had things to say about policy and procedure and things that needed to be done here in America. And she said, "Oh, he doesn't know what to do about Obamacare."
Right. You don't have a plan? He's like, well, I'm not president.
Yeah, I'm not president, and I haven't exactly thought about that. Healthcare isn't like it's weird though. That isn't like this is the thing too. I think that she may have tried to make a thing out of it, but as far as Americans are concerned, we're not thinking about that right now. We're thinking about the economy. We're thinking about immigration, illegal immigration. These are like 1 and 2 here in America right now. Like if you're not talking about those things, America isn't listening.
Well, there is a bit of healthcare that she does have plans for. Have you seen this one?
That they
And she lied about it and said she's not doing this.
were standing in the way of surgery
For prisoners.
For prisoners. And there was a specific case. And when I learned about the case, I worked behind the scenes to not only make sure that that transgender woman got the services she was deserving. So it wasn't only about that case. I made sure that they changed the policy in the state of California so that every
Well, that was hard.
inmate in the prison system would have
Oh, she almost said tranny.
care that they
Come on, Kamala.
Excuse me, Kamala. It's incarcerated person or person affected by the judicial system in California now. We don't
Exactly.
say inmate. That's a
Yeah.
bad word.
So
How dare she?
insensitive.
Taxpayer funded gender reassignment surgeries for inmates.
I think they're very important.
It is ma'am.
they desired and need. And I believe it was not only, I know it was historic in California, but I believe actually it may have been one of the first, if not the first in the country, where I pushed for that policy in a Department of Corrections, that they were standing in the way of
started over. No.
No.
Yeah. She's
We don't need
concerned.
it
She has
twice.
plans for healthcare. No, we're good.
Yeah, she does.
Good.
Especially when it comes to your children, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. And your parental rights.
Oh
if you
yeah,
don't
let's
comply.
completely model what California's got going on with those ideals.
Oh yeah, doing a bang up job here. Anyway, this is a little compilation of other things that she said she never said, doesn't support, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
important and most significant aspect of my policy perspective and decisions is my values have not changed.
Fracking, she's been against it for 12 years. If she won the election, fracking in Pennsylvania will end on day one.
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. So, yes.
So would you ban offshore drilling?
Yes. And I've, again,
Oh, yeah.
My values have not changed.
She wants to confiscate your guns.
I support buybacks, and it's something I'm so passionate about and so looking forward to being president to address.
How mandatory is your gun buyback program?
It's mandatory.
We have to have a buyback program, and I support a mandatory buyback program.
You can't do it by executive order any more than Trump can do things when he says he can do it by executive order. Does the vice president have a point there?
Some things you can.
Well, I mean, I would just say, hey, Joe, instead of saying no, we can't, let's say yes, we can.
My values.
The laugh.
Now she wants to do
Ugh.
transgender operations on illegal aliens that are in prison.
She said she supported taxpayer-funded gender transition surgeries for detained migrants. She also said she supported
Taxpayer-funded gender transition surgeries for detained migrants.
detained
She
migrants.
actually said she supported that.
My values have not changed.
Huh?
Donald Trump, the candidate, has said in this election there will be a bloodbath. If
Oh,
this
good
and
grief.
the outcome of this election.
I was surprised they went there because that had already been debunked and they kind
That
of
one's
it
so
fizzled
thoroughly
out.
debunked.
That
Well,
was
her and Joe
so
Biden had the same problem of kind of referring to even very recently debunked attempted talking points that kind of derailed him really badly. But this thing with the gender transition surgery for migrants, how in the hell are people coming out of Venezuela who are starving, who have no food, who are escaping a worse communist dictatorship than the one they're trying to implement here, at least at the very beginning? How in the hell are they somehow all of a sudden needing gender reassignment surgery when they're coming from a country where I guarantee you that kind of shit is not in the zeitgeist, is not at the forefront of anybody's psyche? And I would imagine even the people claiming to be transgender in places like Venezuela, Nicaragua, and South America and Central America have to be orders of magnitude less significant than even here, than even how small it is here, because it isn't a learned mental illness there like it is here. Like,
Sure. I mean,
that
to some
amazes
degree,
me
I
that's
think,
even a point.
I think it's probably just another virtue signal for the most part.
Very true. It's like, okay,
Or the
does this person even exist that's gonna have this happen to them, or did we make a
Yeah.
talking point out of whole cloth?
But she supports it. She's gonna change it.
Is not to his liking.
We're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, Now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath.
Stop with the continuous lying about this stuff. Let's remember Charlottesville. And what did the president then at the time say? There were fine people on each side.
And you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. But you had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists.
Stop with the continuous lying about this stuff.
Everything that she believed 3
Rich.
years ago and 4 years ago is out the window. But if she ever got elected, she'd change it. She's a Marxist. Everybody knows she's a Marxist.
Equitable treatment means we all end up at the same place. The most important and most significant aspect of my policy perspective and decisions is my values have not changed.
Sure, Jan.
Yeah. I think she's, been pretty clear about exactly where she stands on shit.
Oh yeah, we can play the tape. This one made me laugh. Not his commentary, but you'll see.
You guys want to see the greatest video on this app right now? Watch this.
Taxpayers are not paying the $300 million a day. We were paying for that endless war. And as of today, there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone in any war zone around the world the first time this century. What? But let's understand. So where the fuck are we right now?
I saw that. Wow, and her surrogates are fucking running screaming from that particular video there, because even some bits of mainstream media have called her out for lying on that one, and they have no response. It's like, no, that was the most bold-faced lie she told.
Yeah. And this is my last Kamala video. My last Kamala talking point. This person.
Oh God, that dress. Oh.
Banji Barbie. I'm voting for her, but this her 45th forced black accent, and it's starting to piss me off. Where's my volume? There we go. Nope, I'm on the wrong screen.
Hello to all my divine nine brothers and sisters. And my soror.
This is probably the most egregious one that I've heard.
Oh, that's
one where she's
bad. Yeah, I think I heard this now. I just remember her posting that dressed online, and I was like, oh my God, looks like a trash bag. It's so bad.
And to all my HBCU brothers and sisters.
Can't stand her.
Oh, she's just, everything about her pretending to have an ethnicity other than rich.
Mm-hmm. So this one was Megyn Kelly on the Tucker Carlson show, and she hits on a point that I always have an issue with when it comes to what's happening to the kids, the young adults that are being convinced that they are something else. She touches on the special needs portion, that they're confused or they just need help.
They're the most attacked fucking kids in the country right now, period.
And there are more documented cases of neurodivergent cases, right? Or diagnoses. I thought what she had to say was good, because this comes off the heels of Taylor Swift endorsing Kamala.
She says the reason she's voting for Kamala Harris
Taylor Swift
is because of Tim Walz's LGBTQ stance. Do you know what Tim Walz has done on the LGBTQ front? Let me tell you what's going to happen. Okay, here's what's going to happen. A little girl sitting in Wisconsin, who's maybe on the spectrum, maybe has acne, maybe is a little heavy set, maybe feels upset because the parents are getting divorced, something like that, is going to find herself down a rabbit hole on Reddit. And her parents aren't going to know because they're getting a divorce and they're not focused on her right now. And she's going to spend hour after hour on that thing, and Reddit's going to tell her she's actually a boy. And she's going to get sucked into this gender cult. And she's going to say, Mom and Dad, I want puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones, which will sterilize her and deprive her of all sexual pleasure for the rest of her life. And they're going to say, no, you're a girl. And she's going to say, but I want top surgery, this benign thing, this double mastectomy where I'll have tubes coming out of me and I'll never breastfeed a child. I want that too. because I'm a boy. And they're going to say no. And she's going to go to a judge in Minnesota. And because of Tim Walz, the court will take custody of her, use the Medicaid funds in Minnesota to provide her all of those things, chop off her breasts, sterilize her with the puberty blockers into the cross-sex hormones. And when this girl inevitably comes to the conclusion that she didn't want any of this, that it only added to her problems, which were the divorce and the acne and the puberty and not any trans issue, who is she going to go to then? This is all because of Tim Walz. That's what Minnesota is doing right now to little girls and boys, taking custody away from the parents so that they can have these procedures without any loving parent there to help. And that's what Taylor Swift just endorsed for your children. So screw you, Taylor Swift.
I'll just say, as a father, there is no state entity, there is no state officer that's going to get to put themselves between me and the recovery of my child from something like that. Laws be damned. Yeah, they'll pry my child from my cold, dead hands is basically how that's going to go. Just nah. And yeah, she's not wrong. That Tim Walz is a multi-level piece of shit that I'm almost surprised.
Did you see that they're opening an investigation, allegedly, into CCP ties and spies within his?
No, it isn't alleged. I think there's
It's
actually
real.
there's documentation from the oversight committee in Congress that is actually doing it. That's been released. So yeah, it's he is under investigation. Whether or not that matters, because Congress is so fucking feckless half the time and do nothing. We're investigating, we swear. Sometime after the election we'll say something, but no, I'm shocked that they chose such. I mean, I know why they did. I mean, they did to secure a particular vote with his allegiance with a certain group of people in Minnesota. That the other option that they had over in Pennsylvania is definitely not very popular right now in their caucus. So, in a lot of their caucuses over there in the Democratic Party. So,
Say caucus one more time. I dare you.
Caucus.
All right, so it's enough of that. Enough of that. We're gonna get to more fun stuff. So
yes,
we're gonna go to the next segment. Mental health is no joke, but some people definitely are. If you or someone you love are experiencing manic episodes, having sudden urges to shave your head and or dance around the house with butcher knives, or feel compelled to try on your sister's, mother's, or wife's clothing and subsequently experience a euphoria boner, we strongly encourage you to speak to a licensed professional. That's it. That's the disclaimer.
Grab the popcorn and get ready, folks. It's time for the unhinged, the unwell, and the unbalanced.
Hi, you awake?
What the hell was
You
even
good?
that?
Right? You're awake? Okay, you're with us. Okay, cool. 3, 2, 1, you're back in the room. So this segment, I usually touch on some of the, obviously, the unwell, unhinged, and unbalanced. It's a vast category. It covers lots of different things. This one is something a little different. We got a weirdo over here in the pickup truck, and he is rolling up on a house. Kid jumping around. Apparently, he plays Roblox with this kid.
I heard about this shit.
And I will BRB while this plays.
Yeah. Are you the one that's been messaging me on Roblox? Yeah. I thought you were older.
The fuck you did?
You said you had an older brother and a sister. I have a sister.
The fuck?
You told me your mom was hot. She is. You sent me pictures of your mom. She's very hot. Well, does she know that I'm coming over to meet her? Can I tell her? You didn't tell her? No. I don't know how she's going to react. Did you send her the pictures? No.
Mom, there's this guy out here wondering if you can get his number. Or if she...
He sent me pictures of him.
Yeah, I sent you pictures of him to this guy I met on Roblox.
Yeah, I don't know.
No.
Who?
I played Roblox and he sent me pictures of his.
That's weird. That's really weird.
No shit, that's weird.
Yeah, see? Get in this house. I'm sorry. This is not right. I can't believe you're not playing on Roblox for a while. That's not okay.
For a while.
You just come roll up at someone's house.
Unreal.
Don't you ever send pictures of me to anybody.
Dude, keep your kids off the fucking
Yeah, that's
internet.
weird. Either way. Yeah, that's not okay. Get in the house. Come on. I'm sorry he wasted your time. Come on. This is why I told you, man. It's not how kids are. That's weird.
It's not my fault. Yeah,
Dude,
it's not your
oh
fault.
my god. No, dude, kids. I love that her son's just out there still like just fucking doing his thing, jumping. Like, no, this kid has no sense that this shit just got like dangerously weird. He's just going, jumping.
Uh-huh.
God, dude, no, you gotta turn the internet. My kids play Minecraft with each other because their computers don't have access to the internet, but they can local network, so they can see each other on the local network. That's it.
Yeah,
That's all they're getting.
Even the little app games, a lot of them have the chat component now.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's gonna be a bin. No, Mr. Scott for 2.
Nope.
Shout out to Jen T Max. Glad to have you here. I'm glad Jen T Max is here. Thank you. I don't think she's been here before. Maybe she has. I don't know. I've slept since then, so which is a rarity. Okay, so women, they're a problem. However, I will say, I'll say it after this. Have you ever heard of dimple makers?
No.
You visit at
That's
least
a
one a
thing?
week? I try to stream once a week. I missed last week. But thank you. Good to see you. Okay, dimple makers. It's a thing. I'm turning the music off because reasons. So we buy contraptions and gadgets and skincare devices and whatever.
Oh, I know.
I just got an amazing one though from Korea. Okay. Anyway. Hey. It really is though. It's magic. No. This is one of the stupidest things I've ever seen. Why is my internet not working?
How long do you leave it on?
I don't know. It seems like a bad idea. And it probably doesn't last very long. Kind of like those like little lip plumpers where you suck into the cup. And
yeah.
I've done that before kind of as a joke. Well, as a joke, just to see how big they would get. I was bruised all the way around my lips for like a week. Hey, for the sake of comedy. Okay, they just don't want us to see this.
Apparently not. It's too much laughing.
Hold on.
I will admit, I have a thing.
Oh no.
A men's thing. I'm not. I would feel worse if I didn't know for an absolute fact that somebody far more interesting than me has something exactly like this. I have it's like the straightening things that women, what is it called? Like the straightening iron or the curling iron or whatever. I have a
straightening iron, yeah.
I have a beard straightener, like a heated one that I use with the beard when it's longer. And I know Beardo fucking has one because there's no way his beard looks like that.
Oh no.
And he
Those are
doesn't
great.
use one 3 times a day. That is the wife got it for me. I'm like, all right, I'll try it. If it makes my beard look cooler.
There's nothing wrong with that.
So
nothing wrong with that. The way you were leading into that though, I was a little concerned. Something a little spicier, but let's see if this one works. Okay, so dimple makers, really stupid. Women are always no matter what the women are doing, they always, factor into the category of the unhinged, unwell, and unbalanced toe. This one was just kind of funny. I didn't know where to put it. They thought they had eye drops. Oh, and why? Why the smoke detector?
For a second, I thought maybe you hit a button. I was like, I didn't hit the button.
These dudes grabbing anything, man. Dog, what? What y'all doing? Okay, it's eye itch, right? Look, I'm just sitting here watching. I'm trying to see what the hell y'all doing. Why are you using that if it's eye itch? Dog, Mauricio Makai, that is not eye drops. Do y'all know what eye drops is? That's not eye drop. Where you get it from? Yeah, do you know what that is? It's not an eye drop.
It's chirping too often. Are there multiples or is it added?
It might be multiple. Yeah, I don't know. Or they added it just for some kind of effect. Like,
or is there a basketball court, like, in the other room?
Exactly.
That's a douche. That's
okay. So just to explain for anybody who's just kind of like lurking and listening, there are these two young black men in the bathroom. One's trying to put drops of something in the other one's eye. I'm going to say dad or older brother walks in, goes, "What are you doing?" His eye itch. So they were putting eye drops in, quote unquote. It is not an eyedropper. Do you know what it is, sir?
If I heard what he said correctly, yeah. Yes, I do. Oh, damn.
That's a woman's, like a douche, a douche, however you say it's a douche. Do you know what that is? You know what a douche is?
Shit.
Yeah, a douche is what a woman used to cleanse out her inside. Like if you put the top on that, you'll put the top on that, and then they pull it up and they put it inside of them and they squish it and it cleans out their insides to keep them fresh downstairs. It's not a damn eye drop.
His face. Oh shit.
And like,
oh damn.
It looks like that one meme of the dachshund side eye. The side eye dachshund.
Exactly. Like, nah, he fucking with us, right? Where did they?
You just squirted all in this dude's eye.
It was probably under the sink in a cabinet. I don't know.
But what made them think it was eye drops, though? That's. God damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, you squirted all in your eye. That's not an eye drop, bro. Sniffing it ain't gonna do nothing. It's already in your face. It's all in your face.
Oh shit.
Your cousin is squirted all in your face. Like, so that's what y'all gotta start picking up stuff, man. Y'all gotta start picking up stuff. That's what women use to clean the inside of their body, man. So that ain't got nothing to do with no eye. So yeah. I don't know what to tell you. Might well go ahead and put it down or dump it out or something, because it ain't what you thought it was. It's not an eye drop. Ask questions next time. You squirted on him. Yeah. You squirted on him. No, don't even look like an eye drop. Like, what would you think of an eye drop?
Oh shit.
Oh,
damn.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow. Just
That
the
was just too
faces they
funny.
made. Like, nope, he got us on video. We cooked.
Toast. So, okay, so this is the wind down portion of the show. And typically for the end of this segment, I throw in a Florida man story, but I feel like the Florida man was covered today. The Florida man of the day. Maybe not a resident of Florida, but he was in Florida when said thing happened. So we're going to skip Florida man and we're going to go into misconnections and finding love on the internet. Are you familiar?
Oh, yeah. I think
you
this
ready
is
for this?
scarier than Florida Man. I've seen some things. I've heard things.
Oh yeah, it gets weird, but keeping it a little light tonight, and coming up on almost 2 hours, so we're right on schedule. Beautiful. Everybody's still happy in the chat. We've got people watching. Weird.
Chat's going.
Awesome. Chat is going. They don't even need us.
I know.
But let me see. And yet Another bumper.
Are you looking for me? I'm looking for someone. Where can you be? Someone.
Hi, I'm Maurice. I'm an executive by day and a wild man by night.
I do fashion photography. I took a sponge ball, was pulling him out of a little girl's ear. I'm looking for the goddess. Are you the goddess? Who is the goddess? The goddess is the woman, is a woman, is any woman, is all women.
I'm a 25-year subscriber to both Playboy and the New Yorker magazine.
No fatties. I want it all. No dopers, no smokers, no alcoholics. I steal watches. No posers.
We don't like to write checks.
No hamsters.
We don't like to take out the garbage.
What I'm doing right now is making a movie about World War II. No Donna Juanitas. Do you like cats?
Are you looking for me? I'm looking for someone.
Datamax.
I love your bumpers.
I know they're a bit, you know, what they are. Cheesy, but I'm cheesy.
They're
so.
supposed to be. They're
They're
perfect.
supposed to be
Dead on.
cheesy. Thank you. And to start it off, I was in Florida today. So these are all from Florida. This is the Pensacola area. And I love the ones that are, you know, more than just like a sentence long and give you kind of a story, a scenario, and then you can play it in your head and imagine what these people look like. Because this guy's driving a Chevy Camaro, and I'm going to presume it's from the 90s. Like, I already have the image, and there's
Just
like
the
a
90s
Joe,
one in your head.
there's a Joe Dirt quality about him. I don't know. So, cute girl walking her German Shepherd Friday morning in Pensacola. Would you mind doing the honors?
Sure. All right. I was riding by. Wait, hold on. I was riding by in my Chevy Camaro, and you were walking your German Shepherd. You said, "Hey, I love your car." And I said, "Thank you." I drove by a few minutes later, and you waved at me, and I waved back. I circled back through the neighborhood a few minutes later, and I couldn't find you.
I just imagine him like, oh, I could kidnap her.
Yes, exactly. That's kind of like this guy took a whole lot extra from
Oh, yeah.
a high. Like,
Hi.
she said hi, so I started stalking her.
Right.
Like, wow, guy.
I just imagine him driving through the neighborhood for a good while. Finally had to give up. That wasn't so bad. This one is funny to me because he's not looking for love. Crab Island, jet ski and bridesmaids. I'm like, I saw the title. I'm like, interesting. This sounds like it's going to be a spicy one. Hey, I was the Air Force guy that gave you drunk girls a lift to your pontoon. You had red hats. Oh no, in Florida, and were with a bridesmaid with white heart-shaped glasses. You also swore to Venmo me. Please contact me at the email below. I was on a blue ski-doo and gave 4 of you a little adventure. This was around 3 p.m. You also nearly lost your hat in the water. So he's just is he just looking to get paid?
Yeah.
Or is he looking to
like, hey, you were gonna pay for my gas. Come on.
I wouldn't say you also swore to Venmo me though. Like it seemed like there was something else going on and you swore to Venmo me. What is this adventure? Is it just this jet ski? I have so many questions. I want to know more.
He spun them around the lake on the jet ski.
I should email him from my throwaway account.
Yeah, keep it going.
I did that when I was doing these on my own. Misconnections Mondays.
Catfisher.
I did a couple of those. Well, they were just so creepy. I'm like, oh, I'm so intrigued. I want to know more about this breastfeeding study. Or I have an old wrung like washcloth that needs like some help. I'm like, I gotta know. So I created an email. I'm not going to give you the full email, but the first portion is squishmitten. I thought that would be eye grabbing.
Yeah, I think that gets the attention you're looking for.
No, it is though, because content.
Yes, it's definitely content farming. It's great.
They don't know that.
They don't need to know that.
This one was a little confusing. Also, I used to read them as they were punctuated. So if there was not a comma, I would not pause, and it would just be this run long on sentence paragraph. But this one, Monroeville Night Cops on Fry. I bet your boss was mad when you joined Highway 21 southbound outside lane. I am perplexed. Would you mind?
Let's see here. I don't know if I have a good voice for this one. Let's see. Because they also had to hire a lifeguard from all of that. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay.
Does that help? Which
It
accent you're gonna
does,
take?
actually. It definitely gives me a good one. I'm going to kind of go back to this one a little bit. We're going to talk a little faster. All right. Because they had
let's
to
go.
hire a lifeguard from all that poonaner you got to be drowning in. Probably scuba diving. Good-looking men. Officer number 2 wasn't bad either. But you, sleeves, tats, and the uniform, you know what you're doing. You freaking stud muffin beefcake with your little taser, cuffs, and baton. You know that's French, right? French. Language of love. Yes, sir. I'm gonna watch Blue Bloods. Great show.
So the other thing that my brain does is at first, thank you for that. It's beautiful. Beautiful
As soon
reading.
as I saw Poonaner, only when accents
Okay.
read the word in.
That was another indicator that this was not written by a woman.
No.
Most of these are, they're all men on here. Come on. They're all men.
There's only men on the internet. This is the rule of the internet.
Exactly. Women don't exist. And they're not this funny. But yeah, so a lot of them, when it's, oh, I saw this guy, you were this, that, and super buff or whatever, I automatically presume it's a female. And then I go, no. That's a man, baby. Whole different interaction. Whole different scenario. But yeah, especially, okay, first, Poonaner. That is not a female. And then at the end, seals it. Blue Bloods. Okay. But I didn't understand what the title meant, but I get it now. I bet your boss was mad when you joined the force because you're too
I'm
hot.
guessing. Yeah.
That is just such a weird post. And lastly, in Hudson, I'm Snoopy from Walmart. I'm Snoopy hat dude looking for that smile by the cheese section. Walmart Hudson.
Wow.
I
I've
know,
never
I didn't
thought
Go on.
cheese would be
Yeah.
the section you're picking up ladies in. I mean, I can understand produce. There's so many options, but cheese.
Okay, but yeah, I didn't see any looking for a woodworker or offering woodworking services or plumbing or seeking plumbers. So that was refreshing today, especially for the area that I was searching in.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
What is going on with that?
Okay. What is
Smile in
going
the
on?
cheese section. Just found
I'm
a really
goofy.
nice smoked Gouda. He
I'm
just took
Goofy
it
Hat.
wrong. Yeah.
What if he just wants everybody to call him Goofy Hat? Like forever. Like, what if that person does reach out?
Yeah,
Forever
that's just
Goofy
his
Hat.
name. You should
I don't know.
do a search for him on X. That's probably his handle.
Oh God, it probably is. Okay, so before we bring the train back into the station, lightning round questions. Feel free to elaborate as much as you want, or keep it as simple as you like. One word answers. I don't mind. If you were an ice cream, what flavor would you be and why?
What flavor would I be and why? Cookies and cream. Because of equity.
You heard it here, folks. Do you know how to do the Macarena? Hey, Macarena.
No. I'm of Irish descent and
straight?
very white. I can't dance.
Nobody that can do the Macarena can dance. Like, did you see them doing it in Congress? Was it Congress? Hillary Clinton was a lot younger.
That sounds yes. I remember what you're talking about. I wish I didn't.
It's terrifying. Was it a Democratic convention? Oh, here it is. Oh, it's freaky. Okay, this is the last share because I didn't plan on doing this, but let's see.
But you had a tab open.
And but I had to.
Oh my God, no.
I have it muted anyway, but the cringe.
I am not trying to do
See? He can't dance. None of these people can dance. What they're doing?
They all want me, they can't have me, so they all come and dance beside me.
Okay. Stop. I'll stop. Last
Oof.
question. What was your first record, tape, or CD that you ever owned?
Cake Fashion Nugget.
Okay. And one
Great
more
album.
time.
Still great to this day. It holds up.
Still holds up. Like Crocodile Dundee.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. One more time. You don't currently have a stream schedule, but you can be found via the links below.
Yep.
And do you have any final words?
Well, first of all, thank you for scheduling this so far in advance. I'm going to just to be not to be overly nice, but you're literally the only person who's been that thoughtful in scheduling something with me in like a million years, if ever, since I've started. You are incredibly on top of your scheduling for somebody who doesn't have a producer. So just to put that out there, I wanted to thank you. That's awesome. More streamers plan ahead. I love planning ahead. I plan everything ahead. Everything is constantly scheduled. I am that kind of person. So when somebody like wants me to suddenly do something that isn't part of my normal schedule, it's like it drives me up a wall. So
Yeah, I like that I've been able to plan it out like a month at least ahead. Being only a weekly show, right? Because historically I would be like 4 days before I planned a stream, and I'm like, okay, who's available? And that was the vibe for like the panel shows. And a lot of the time we're on a couple of the same group chats where it's like, who's available tonight? You know, that kind of thing. But when it's one-on-one, I like scheduling it out. It feels much more comfortable. I can plan ahead, even if my show lineup I don't prepare till the day of. Knowing that I have a person like solid, booked in, locked and loaded has been awesome. I've had people go like Shagsworth. So I got him for the end of October. He's like, yeah, it should be fine. Just let me know closer to, because he's not, it sounds like he's not used to scheduling far out. But for people like you and me, I like this arrangement that I have going on.
Yes,
If
I like
people
this
show
idea
up.
of scheduling further out. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it doesn't always work out. When I was doing my one-on-one show as well, that would happen. Sometimes
Diesel.
it just what's up, Diesel? Evening, dude. But yeah, it makes it a lot easier to know what you're doing and to kind of plan your conversation. Like, you know, when you know at least who is your guest that evening, you kind of you have a good direction to go, or at least an idea of a direction to go, especially if it's somebody you know or
Especially
somebody
if
you
it's somebody you
watch, somebody you're
stream with
familiar with.
before. Yeah,
Yep.
you're familiar with what kind of content they like to cover, or that they might have interest in, or different type of humor, you know. So that's been really helpful for me, especially with like sprinkling in the palate cleansers. It's kind of like catered to more or less, you know, generally to my guest. So I am so glad you came on. Thank you so much. And
Thank you for
I
having
don't
me.
have anything else except for to remind myself to say thank you to everyone who super chatted, and just for being here and keeping the chat spicy and the conversation flowing. And thank you to the mods, who I always forget to thank, and I feel so bad about it after I hit end stream. But I made a note so I didn't forget this time. You guys are the best, and you are on top of your shit, and I love it. And other than that, I think we're going to call it a night. Thank you, everybody. We'll catch you on the next one.
Chat.
Yeah. Good night.
Lesbians.